Hey everybody, Brian Gallagher here, physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for 30 years and owned my own practice for 20 years. For those of you that are new to my channel, we won Practice of the Year in 2011 as the #1 clinic in the country. I have a company called Meg Business Management, and our whole purpose is to help physical therapists live a better life as owners and entrepreneurs, as well as intrapreneurs, as well as help elevate the profession of physical therapy. This channel is dedicated to management training, management principles, management elements, key basics, things like that. We really pull from our Meg Academy, little bits and pieces, and share it with you here on our YouTube channel, as well as on our podcast, where we really focus on our podcast on personal growth ideas and tips for professional success. So let's get right into it today. I want to talk about the 4 basic keys, or the 4 basic elements, whichever tag name you want to put on them, but they're basic elements, let's say, that are essential for you as a manager, a CEO, an executive, an owner, to put in accountability on the individual team members that work with you, as well as on a group, your divisions. You have 5 divisions in a physical therapy practice. In any business, actually, 3 or more people assembled for a common purpose, common goal is the definition of an organization. Once you have an organization, you do have 5 divisions in existence, whether you realize it or not. We'll talk about those 5 divisions on another video. In this video, we want to put in accountability on individuals. We also want to put accountability in an area, a group, my marketing department, my clinical division, maybe my office managers or my office administrators. Well, here's what you need. You're going to need to be able to identify per post or per group, per division, primary product. What is the primary product of these people assembled doing what they're doing? See, your employees come to work and they either think they're getting paid for what they do, or they think they're exchanging time for money. I don't care if my staff member comes to work each and every day and rubs a crystal on her head. I don't care what she's doing. I care what she's producing. I care what she or he has figured out in the order and sequence of importance, in the magnitude of effort, in the estimation of effort, what is required of them to produce their product. Their primary product is what's actually exchangeable for their compensation package, whether that be pay or time off or benefits or whatever that may be. Obviously, I'm a big supporter and big fan of the pay for performance model. And if you don't know about that, there's videos and podcasts on that as well. So that's huge in making a difference in the viability of your practice and creating a greater net margin, if you will. But management of people is like herding cats if you don't have these 4 key elements in place. So element number 1, what is the primary product on the individual or the group? So let's take as an example, front office coordinator, right? What is their primary product? Well, their primary product is keep everybody in the schedule, right? Lower that cancellation no-show rate to a minimum, so all people arriving on time as scheduled throughout the entire duration of care, throughout their entire plan of care. This is the primary product number 1 for front office coordinator or office manager. Primary product number 2 is all monies due over the counter that can be collected are collected. So all monies available OTC, over the counter collections, is a primary product of the front desk coordinator. Now, key element number 2, if you have a primary product, in order to get that primary product, there's sub-products that have to be achieved that, if done in accumulation, give you the primary product in abundance. Very important that you educate your team, whether it be an individual or a group of people, that the primary product isn't the thing that you're going directly after. It's the sub-products you're trying to win over and achieve and accomplish, because the accumulation of such yields the primary product. It's kind of like a marketing coordinator. I'm not going to hire a marketing person to go get new patients. What are they going to do? Get a magic wand and go out there and tap people on the head? You're a new patient, you're a new patient, you're a new patient. No, that's not happening. They're going to do blogs, they're going to do email campaigns, they're going to do lunch and learns, they're going to do Facebook ads, they're going to do community events, and the list goes on and on and on. And they set up a 2-month calendar, and they become very consistent in their outflow of the sub-products. The sub-products are what will yield the new patient volume going up, because they're getting an abundance of those sub-products, and they have to be focused on the sub-products. So Element 1, what is the primary product? Element 2, break the primary product into a list of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sub-products. And then you hand that over to the individual or to the group and say, go do this. Go, Sparky, this is what we need to do. We need to rack these sub-products up in abundance because it's going to get us the primary product, which is in fact what I am actually compensating you for. Now, here's the accountability side. I now have to make sure that each and every one of those are measurable because I'm not interested in managing by personality. Oh, she buys me Starbucks or he buys me, Dunkin' Donuts, or they laugh at my jokes. Not important to me. What is important is that every single thing in my life that is important, that is essential, that means anything to me, I measure. I measure the balance of my bank account. I measure my credit score. I measure my IQ. I get grades in school. Maddening to me to hear that people go to school and they don't get any grades. That's not a school. That's a playroom. If you're going to do something of importance, it must be measured. There must be objective measurements so that one can pop out of bed every day and say, I'm going to live a better life today than yesterday. I'm going to have a better month this month than last month. I'm a private practice owner, and because of my net revenue, my EBITDA, my gross income, my number of new patients I serviced last year, number of patient visits we did last year, well, I'm going to do 15% better this year. It's not because I want to buy a bigger boat. It's because I want to get out of bed and be motivated to live a better 55-year-old, live a better 55-year-old life than 54. I mean, that's what's important, right? Like, literally, I was educating these young kids that work with me here at my farm, and I was out to breakfast with them, and I said, look around this restaurant. Half of the people here are just sucking air and eating food. They don't have any motivation. They don't have any goals or drive or accomplishments that are set or in stone for them to achieve in the upcoming year. So many people have just become existence driven. They're just existing and they're just trying to get through their day and whatever. That's not happiness. You have to sense of accomplishment, sense of achievement, right? So as a practice owner and as a manager, you know this. We know this. And we're only going to be able to give people acknowledgments personally and validations professionally if we're measuring accomplishments. It's a merit-based world, people. It's a merit-based world. You only should reap the value of the benefits of what you've achieved. And if you're going to have a practice like ours, where we won practice of the year, the #1 clinic in the country out of 36,000, it happens because every single person had their sub-products, their main products, and there were statistics that were, element 3, statistics were identified for each and every sub-product, and statistics were tracked for every primary product. Funny thing is, what we did to even make it more impactful and more meaningful is they recorded the stats. They turned in their stat sheet every week. We created a software program in Google Sheets and made it super easy. It was almost like a timesheet for them to fill out. And they just submitted it, and they knew exactly where they stood. They knew exactly what they were accomplishing or not accomplishing. They knew where their weak spots were, where their strengths were, and they leaned into those things to elevate those up. And for those, we had a model that had a greater level of exchange. So, element number 3, sub-product statistics. Put a statistic, which is just a measurement of one thing against itself in a new unit of time. Really, that's all a statistic is. So if people push back on you, like, this place is all about the numbers, you're like, damn right it is. So should your life be all about the numbers. What's your annual income from last year to this year? What's your IQ from last year to this year? What's your relationship score if you go out on the 5 love languages or whatever it is on the internet? Are you not, is that not important to you? Are you not trying to personally enhance yourself year over year? That's the only people I want to attract myself to. That's the only people I want to hitch my wagon with. People who are motivated to pop out of bed, like I said earlier, and put some time, energy, and effort into some measurable improvement in their life, whether it be personally or professionally. Last key element, primary stats. Primary stats are really important because they lead into the KPIs, key performance indicators. When you're looking at a group, primary stats are the stats that we measure when looking to evaluate an individual. So metrics are group-based stats. That's kind of how I think of it. Metrics, KPIs, are group-based stats, like on a division or an area. Individual stats are the scorecard, the report card when you were in school, the report card that track how well you're doing. First quarter, I was a C student. Second quarter, I was a B student. Third quarter, I was an A student. I learned as I went where my weaknesses were, what I needed to lean into to improve myself in that area. Don't you want to run a practice like that? Isn't that what's important? Because believe me, when you put this infrastructure in and you put the system on the individuals to record their own stats, look at their own performance, and you rake it and you talk about it once a month in the staff meetings, You're motivating people. They're getting more motivated. They're getting more incentivized. They're like, this is a fun game. It matters. Scores matter. I can't stand like, oh my gosh, yeah, my kids play soccer, but nobody keeps score. What? Like, really? Maybe when you're 5, 3, 4, I get it. It's the art of the game. No problem. But once you start getting into that level where you understand, like, my self-worth, my value is based upon what I put into things, what I put into myself and into others and into other groups or activities. Like, isn't that what we're supposed to be teaching? Isn't that parenting, raising socially well-adjusted children, winning in life according to them? Well, how do they know they're winning if we're not keeping score? So that's it for this week's YouTube channel episode. I hope you really enjoy our management philosophy. We like to keep it fun, light. I am not interested in being all, walking on eggshells and not even necessarily politically correct sometimes. I want to be kind, considerate, and understanding and appreciative of all people from all things. But when it comes to managing and running groups and organizing people, sometimes tough decisions have to be made. And sometimes things aren't always going to be what exactly everybody else wants to hear. But you know what? They can leave and go open their own shingle and start their own thing. And let's see how that works for them. If you're not holding in discipline and you're not making things meaningful and you're not scoring and recording things numerically, you're not managing by statistics, then you're simply managing by personality. And guess what? You're going to be the effect of all these people that are on your payroll, and it's not going to look pretty. It's not going to feel good either. You deserve work-life balance for yourself as a practice owner, just like everybody else. And an only way to do that is to hold in accountability on the individuals so that the group's winning. When the group's winning, we're all winning. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. On to the next episode. See you next time.